we are going to do a better job than anybody in the country and involve people in ways that you cannot even imagine right now.
We need to take the Indian political system to a different place.
जो हम टिकट दें, हम एक परिवार को ना दें, एक व्यक्ति को ना दें, मगर आप सब से पूछ के वो टिकट दिलवाएं.
And we need to move away from this concentration of power.
आपको लगे कि ये हमारा कैंडिडेट है, ये हमारे लिए लड़ेगा, और अगर आपको वो अच्छा नहीं लगा, तो आपको लगे कि भैया इसको मैं हटा भी सकता हूं. The more power we give to the people of our country, the better it is for the country.
Hello and welcome to this week's Politics First. In this heated political season, both the BJP and Congress seem to have carved out and settled on what their major election plank is going to be. While Modi is focusing more on development, Rahul Gandhi is talking more about democratization of the system. And in line with that idea is his experiment of the primaries, where in a particular constituency, local Congress workers will choose their Lok Sabha candidate and not the Congress High Command.
Post the state board drubbing, Rahul has gotten into an overdrive. A 500 crore publicity campaign to experiments like these, which he believes will open the door for people into political system. And he hopes will also change the political discourse.
Candidate selection processes, strengthening policy processes. Okay, I made a comment about the Aam Aadmi Party where I said there is something that we can learn from them.
Yes.
And what I felt we could learn from them is that they reached out to people in a particular way that was good. There are things that I don't think we should take away from them. I think we have fundamental strengths in the Congress Party, and it's something that we've been working on for 3 or 4 years now. And the real power of the Congress Party is the depth of our organization, and that is the work that we are doing when we talk about an open manifesto. That is the work that we are doing when we talk about 15 parliamentary seats being chosen by
only 15.
Absolutely, because one needs to set up the systems. If I was to suddenly launch into 546 seats being directly elected by people, the system would explode. What I need to do is I need to set up an idea, test the idea, run the idea. If it makes sense, if the thing actually works, then move it into the rest of the party. The step we've taken with those 15 primaries, I mean, we get that much of a little piece in the newspaper, but that is probably the biggest political step that has been taken in this country.
16 seats where Congress workers are selecting their own candidates. The election is concluded in 6 seats, but the process has gotten off to a shaky start from the word go. The first primary, Guwahati. In Guwahati, Manas Bora defeated 5 aspirants for the Lok Sabha ticket and won the primary last month. Congress may tout him to be party's democratic choice, but rumours float otherwise.
Senior leaders from Assam claim that money exchanged hands in the primary election. Though nobody wants to openly criticize Rahul Gandhi's experiment, the election was marred by rumours and bad blood against the winning candidate. Many workers boycotted the process. Out of the total 1,400 voters, only 800 casted their votes in the primary election.
Frankly speaking, I was not too happy the system how it has been have been projected as a candidate, because he won a number of votes more than the others. From their point of view, because as a person, if you say, he may be a good boy as far as the young blood is concerned, but Guwahati is not a place like that where only youngsters can take part.
The task of consolidating itself in Uttar Pradesh has been anything but easy for the Congress. So it was very natural that when it came to conducting the first primary in the state, it was largely a messy affair.
Out of the 8 candidates, the only woman, Hazra Lone, boycotted the election. Candidates went on record to make charges of rigging and malpractice. But the returning officer tried to calm frayed nerves.
Congress murdabad!
मैं बता रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे बकायदा लोग सेटिंग किए हैं। मैंने किसी सेटिंग की? अब मैं हर आदमी को नहीं पहचान रहा हूँ, किसी नाम नहीं, मैं किसी को पहचान नहीं रहा हूँ कि वोटर किसको वोट देने जा रहा था। लेकिन जो 12 बजे के बाद है उसकी एंट्री हो गई। आलापुर के 40 लोग आके यहाँ पे धरने पे बैठे हैं। क्या जो दिल्ली से आए हुए हैं, क्या वो लोग फिक्स कर दिया सन्यासी को? जी जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आपके सामने आ जाए।
नहीं, मैं इस तरह के सवालों का जवाब नहीं दूंगा। उसमें ये बिल्कुल वाहियात बात है। आरोप लगाने के लिए प्लेटफॉर्म है, वहाँ लगाएं। आपके पास मीडिया में आरोप लगाने से हमारा काम नहीं बनना। चलिए।
Then came the biggest blow. Cabinet Minister Beni Prasad Verma went on record to echo that many in the party were thinking quietly, slamming the primaries, likening them to an auction.
राहुल जी का पूरा सम्मान करते हुए हम इस स्कीम से बहुत सहमत नहीं हैं। टिकट नीलामी से नहीं तय होते हैं। ये ऑक्शन है हुआ। अब हमें जो खबर मिल रही है अम्बेडकर नगर और वहाँ खिलाबाद की सभा के लोग अपने वोटर बना के वोट करवा रहे हैं। कांग्रेस अभी नेशनल लेवल पे उत्तर प्रदेश इतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं है।
And when politics' first team went to Indore to evaluate the situation, things not very different. A little bit of confusion and difficulties were in store.
जिलों से कोई मतलब नहीं। मैं तो आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, आप अधिकृत होकर आए हैं, यदि वोटर लिस्ट में नाम है?
Congress MP Sanjay Nirupam, who was appointed to conduct the primary election in Indore, facing some uncomfortable questions.
मैं बता देता हूँ क्या था। न कोई दबाव प्रभाव नहीं। अब कहानी गढ़िए मत। हुआ ये 5 लोगों ने भरा था और जहां तक मेरी जानकारी है 2 लोगों का जो नॉमिनेशन था वो फॉल्टी था, उसमें दोष था। उनका नॉमिनेशन रद्द हुआ और रद्द करने के लिए कोई इंदौर की कांग्रेस कमेटी का रोल नहीं है उसमें। तो जो एआईसीसी से लोग आए जिनको टेक्निकली बताया गया कि ये सारी प्रक्रिया होगी, उसके तहत 2 लोगों का रद्द हुआ। लेकिन कोई भी व्यक्ति नॉमिनेशन भरने के लिए इस प्राइमरी में बतौर उम्मीदवार शामिल होने के लिए खुला है। जो आपका सवाल है उसका जवाब यही राहुल जी कह रहे हैं। हर कोई दिल्ली से किसी को टिकट मिले या किसी बड़े नेता का कोई बहुत बड़ा चापलूस है इसलिए उसको टिकट मिले, अब ये सब नहीं चलेगा। राहुल जी कह रहे हैं कि लोग तय करेंगे, पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता तय करेंगे कौन उम्मीदवार तय होगा। और ये एक बहुत क्रांतिकारी विचार है, आसानी से समझ में नहीं आएगा और आसानी से पचेगा नहीं। इसलिए एक प्रयोग के तौर पर अभी शुरू किया। थोड़ा स्वीकार करो, थोड़ा इसको डाइजेस्ट करो, आगे जाके चमत्कार करेंगे।
2,366 Congress workers had registered, only 751 turned up. Former party MLA Satyanarayan Patel winning the primary by a big margin.
और इसमें हम सब मिलकर कांग्रेस परिवार के एक हैं और हमारा ये चुनाव आपस में पारिवारिक था, ये चुनाव नहीं है। चुनाव तो अब हम सब मिलकर हमको मुख्य लड़ना है, जो हमको मैदान में जीतना है।
Good on paper, bad in practice. That is what some say about Rahul's new idea. But experts say that it will be too early to judge the system, and the hiccups like one in Guwahati and UP can be easily overcome in due time.
Congress workers are finding it very difficult to adjust to this idea. And, you know, in any case, I'm not sure that you can transplant a foreign idea from a different system into our system like that. You know, it takes a long time for people to get used to something foreign coming in. The American system is a presidential system. We are a parliamentary system. And primaries are basically for the presidential nominee of a party. Whereas, you know, we have to find 543 MPs to elect to parliament. So I don't know whether the idea is workable in India. But, you know, what I find really strange is that 2 things I find very strange. One, that Rahul Gandhi should try this kind of experimentation when we are in the midst of the elections. You know, if you want to introduce new ideas, you do it 2 years before so that you can see how the idea works, you can get your party used to it, and so on and so forth. Secondly, I think the idea is to hunt for good candidates with grassroots support and to bring some transparency into the selection process. I mean, there's a very simple way out of that. All he needs to do is to introduce true internal democracy in the Congress party, have direct elections at the bottom level, and I think they will find good candidates. But the problem with the Congress party is that there is no internal democracy at all. So, you know, how, and you can see what's happening in the primaries. They're bringing in sons and daughters of old Congress leaders, and apparently money power is starting to play a role and so on. So, you know, where is the question of democracy?
Most in the Congress do not share Baini's view and are quick to defend Rahul Gandhi's latest move. And in fact, some have used the opportunity to score political points with their leader offering their own seats to be put on election.
One of the reasons why we have to choose with the people within the organization is because we are an old party. There are already established people with a lot of experience and hard work and blood and sweat into the party. And obviously they will work for the candidate's success. Therefore, their opinion is something that is valuable. There are also people who are rooted, who live in colonies, who live in Delhi, and who also reflect people's opinion. So I think their viewpoint is something that would probably be able to get us to take a perhaps better decision with regard to who's the most popular, who is who's most acceptable in the party, and who's somebody who will be able to put the best fight for the Congress.
On the other side of the show, the story of the biggest proponent of Rahul's idea, Congress Media Cell's head and senior leader Ajay Makhan, who opened up his constituency for a primary and won unopposed.